It was a chilly winter evening in a semi-urban town nestled between rolling hills and dense forests. Arjun, a 29-year-old teacher, had just moved into a rented house on the outskirts of the town. The house stood alone, its cracked walls and creaking doors whispering tales of its age. Locals avoided the place, muttering vague warnings about unseen things. But Arjun, ever the skeptic, brushed them off. That night, Arjun sat at his desk grading papers when he heard the first knock. A slow, deliberate tap, tap, tap echoed through the silence. He glanced at the clock, 11:57 p.m. The door was visible from his desk, and through the frosted glass he could see no one outside. Thinking it was the wind, he ignored it and returned to his work. Moments later, the knock came again, louder this time. Arjun hesitated but decided to check. As he opened the door, a rush of icy air hit him. There was no one there. The street was deserted, lit dimly by flickering yellow streetlights. He stepped outside and glanced around. A faint rustling came from the forest edge, but he dismissed it as animals. Shaking his head, he went back inside, locking the door tightly. At midnight, the power went out. Arjun cursed under his breath and reached for his phone to use as a flashlight. As he fumbled in the darkness, his eyes caught something, movement in the corner of the room. His breath hitched. It was faint, almost imperceptible, like a shadow shifting. "Who's there?" he called out, his voice steady despite the chill creeping up his spine. Silence. He turned the flashlight toward the corner, but it revealed nothing. Just his old bookshelf and a chair. Convincing himself it was his imagination, he sat back down, but the unease lingered. At 12:15 a.m., the knocking started again, this time from the window in the living room. Arjun froze. The house had no balcony, and the window was on the second floor. Slowly, he turned toward the sound. A face stared back at him through the glass. It was pale, almost translucent, with hollow eyes that seemed to pull him into their void. The figure's mouth stretched into an unnatural grin, too wide to be human. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then the figure pressed a skeletal hand against the glass, its fingers tapping in the same slow rhythm as the door earlier. Arjun's chest tightened. He grabbed his phone and called the police, stammering about an intruder. The operator assured him help was on the way. Minutes felt like hours as he sat, clutching a cricket bat, his eyes glued to the window. The face remained unblinking, grinning. The knocks grew louder, more insistent. Suddenly, they stopped. When the police arrived 20 minutes later, they found no one outside. The frost-covered grass beneath the window was undisturbed. No footprints, no sign of entry. The officers exchanged uneasy glances, but assured Arjun they'd patrol the area. Arjun didn't sleep that night. The next morning, he decided to leave the house and stay with a friend until he could find a new place. As he packed, he noticed something on the window pane. It was faint but unmistakable. 5 long streaks, as if something had clawed at the glass. Beneath them, scrawled in the frost, were the words, "I'll be back tonight." Arjun never returned to the house. Locals say it still stands, its windows forever frosted, even in the summer. And sometimes, on cold, quiet nights, people claim to hear the slow, deliberate tap, tap, tap of the watcher at midnight.